Hello everyone, welcome to Pharmacology Further Podcast, and we are here with the October 23 e-newsletter podcast. So Pharmacology Further is a step further pharmacology. A big welcome to all the interested, curious and thoughtful people who like medical sciences as main course, nutritive salads and sides, and literature and fiction as desserts, drizzled upon with spices of creativity at the same time. So we are starting now with the Pharmacology Further e-newsletter October 23. First and foremost, let's straight away jump to the Is Pharmacology Difficult section. Here I have October FDA approved drugs. So I'm gonna list few of the October FDA approved drugs which are quite important. The first one is etrasimod. The brand name is Velsipity. It was approved on October 12, 23 for the treatment of ulcerative colitis. It is to be administered orally as tablets, and mechanism involves sphingosine 1-phosphate receptor modulation. That is S1P receptor modulation. Next drug in the list is bimekizumab, that is BKZX. The brand name is Bimzelx. It was approved on October 17, 23 for the treatment of plaque psoriasis, and it has to be administered as injection. Next drug in the list is tenapanor. The brand name is Xphozah. It was approved on October 17, 23 for the treatment of hyperphosphatemia of renal failure. I'm sure you might have heard of this situation. Now, this drug has to be administered as tablets, that is orally, and the mechanism involves the inhibition of sodium hydrogen exchanger 3, that is capital NHE3. The next important drug in the list is zilucoplan, and the brand name is Zilbrysq. It was approved on October 17, 23 for the treatment of generalized myasthenia gravis patients who are anti-acetylcholine receptor antibody positive. So there's a condition here. The drug has to be administered as injection, and it is a peptide inhibitor of complement component 5, that is capital C5 inhibitor. The next important drug in the list is mirikizumab, that is MRKZ, and the brand name is Omvoh. It was approved on October 26, 23 for the treatment of ulcerative colitis. The drug has to be administered as injection, and it is an interleukin 23 antagonist. The next important drug in the list is vamorolone, and the brand name is Agamree. It was approved on October 26, 23 for the treatment of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. In the age group 2-year-old and above, the drug has to be administered orally as oral suspension, and chemically the drug is corticosteroid. And the last drug in the list is toripalimab. It was approved on October 27, 23 for the treatment of nasopharyngeal carcinoma, which is abbreviated as capital NPC. The drug is to be administered as injection, and the mechanism involves programmed death receptor 1, that is capital PD1 blocking antibody. So that was all about the October FDA approved drugs. I gave you one of the most important drugs and their list and the main features, that is their indications, their mechanism, and their route of drug administration. The next section in Is Pharmacology Difficult? We have latest medical updates. It involves quite latest research and their outcomes. So let's get to know the most important ones. Current health researchers from University of Granada, that is capital UGR, they have indicated that daily 8,000 steps walked in fact reduces premature death risk. It improves the quality of life. and the best results are obtained when this fast speed of walking is maintained. Now, before that, prior to this, Japanese, they propounded the theory of 10,000 steps daily, but there was no scientific basis. The next important research is about the Cronkite-Canada syndrome. That's a rare state of development of non-carcinogenic polyps in the intestine. Now, this development of polyps, it was directly proportional to the high serotonin levels of the intestinal epithelium. Now, this, as per research, is done in the Baylor College of Medicine. The next important one I want to talk about, that it is not only sugar, it is salt too. Yes, the current researchers, they suggest from the Tulane University that people suffering from type 2 diabetes, they need to skip and avoid salt too. That is, they have to avoid sugar, but they have to avoid salt too. There's some relation of the salt with type 2 diabetes, I think so. Next current research, it confirms the effectiveness of capital JAK inhibitors. And what are these inhibitors? Tofacitinib, baricitinib, upadacitinib. And this is all, they are very useful in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, especially when the old medicines of the arthritis, they show significant results. Next, we have from the nature. Wasabi is a plant found in Japan and Far East Russia. It is used both as food ingredient and a condiment. Now, already it was famous for its anti-inflammatory benefits. They were proven. While now, its ability of cognitive improvement is also exhibited. It basically shows a kind of a calming effect, and it is useful both for long and short-term memory benefits. Now, lastly, we have a current article in the field of regenerative medicine. It suggests that experiments done in the mice have shown that melanin nanoparticles, they can actually aid in wound recovery. The proof was established by experimenting on biomimetic models and also on human skin explants. Now, the resource is internet for all these researchers. So nothing to state, definitely you will be able to find more details there. What I have covered is an overview of the most important research that I have thought, in my opinion, that should be shared. Again, I'm telling you, the resource for all these researchers is internet and the most trustable web pages and websites that I have referred to. Now, the next section in Is Pharmacology Difficult is from my own classroom. Yes, this is my own classroom stuff. Here I will be sharing some insights of pharmacology learnings from the classes that I have taken this month and also that I have read about the subject. So, what I'm going to talk about is, well, I'm the teacher, but of course, teaching is learning. So, let me give you a brief of some of the drugs and drug groups that I have actually memorized, and what are the most important features that I wanted to state here are about tetracyclines. They are broad spectrum. The resistance mechanism develops to these drugs by efflux pumps. That is the most important one. There are few more resistant mechanisms. All the tetracyclines, they are comprised of 4 cyclic rings. The doxycycline is excreted by the liver. Most of the other ones, they are excreted by the renal route. The tetracycline, they form chelates with the milk, etc. and the deposit in the growing teeth and bones. And Fanconi syndrome with the outdated tetracycline drugs is also seen. Then we come to the next important drug group, chloramphenicol. It's also very toxic. It's a broad spectrum drug, but it has a limited use because of its very high problem and adverse effect of bone marrow aplasia. Then this is the limiting toxicity, and this is the limiting feature of the use of the drug. And when given in neonates in pregnancy, the drug also shows to have side effect of gray baby syndrome. Coming over to the next drug, erythromycin, the first drug amongst the macrolides. It has a narrow spectrum. It is an inhibitor of CYP3A4 enzymes. The drug is acid labile and is generally administered via the oral route as enteric-coated tablets. Then we have azithromycin. It's a broad spectrum drug Once daily dosing is enough. That is the convenience of its administration. It doesn't show any kind of inhibition of the CYP3A4 enzyme, so it's better than erythromycin. Definitely, it is acid stable up to an extent also. Coming over to the next drug, clindamycin. That's from the group lincosamide antibiotic drugs, sometimes effective for VRSA and VRE, that is vancomycin-resistant Staph aureus and vancomycin-resistant enterococci also. Coming over to the next drug, linezolid. It shows good activity against anaerobes, and especially it shows good activity against Bacteroides fragilis. Next drug group is asparaginine. It is very specifically used and useful, very effective for toxoplasmosis, which is caused by Toxoplasma gondii. Then we have polypeptide group of antibiotics, which have very high systemic toxicity, so they are mainly used topically. Now this is from my classroom and I'm not going into a lot of details. Coming over, after is pharmacology difficult, we have Radjan Wills. So from the Radjan Wills writing desk, I want to state that NaNoWriMo 2023 is the most awaited and the most celebrated November month event that I am looking forward to. That is, I'm talking about when I was in October. So what is NaNoWriMo? It's a National Novel Writing Month in 2023. That is every year in November in US. So what I'm planning to do is to write a sequel of my last NaNoWriMo project, Vijay and the Valley of the Dwarfs. And this year's book is named as Ranjo and the Reckless Course of the Aircraft. And this is again a middle grade kids adventure book. That is the age group, and this time the main character here is not Vijay but Ranjo. And I want to share that I got some great reviews for Vijay and the Valley of the Dwarfs recently. And I've also shared my first chapter of the book, Vijay and the Valley of the Dwarfs, which you can also find when you go for look inside section in Amazon. But I've shared a little lesser than the Amazon, and I've shared for free. And you can read it. If you like it, you can actually go for the complete book on Amazon. And the name I've mentioned, so you will be able to find it without any problem or without any confusion. So the first chapter 1 is a Tinsop Town. I'm not going to read the chapter just now. You can read it from my newsletter. And if you really like it, then definitely go for the book. Lastly, I want to state here is that hope you all are having a planned, organized writing and reading routine that could be actually nothing very fancy, but simple step like noting things in Google Calendar, like I do. Yes, I have been using Google Calendar from quite some time, and I found it quite very useful and one of the best organizing places where I actually write down so many things that I want to do in the daytime. After Radjan Wills, we have the section Simple and Sparkling. And this time in this section, it is the time to go bananas. No, I mean to think about bananas and their benefits for all of us. So let's talk about the pros. I'm not talking here any cons, only pros and pros. So bananas, they are very rich in fiber, they are a very good source of potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin C. They have many antioxidants, phytonutrients. The protein content is very less, the fat is present in bananas. The soluble fibers and the resistant starch in green unripe bananas, they help moderately to balance the body sugar levels. The resistant starch serves as prebiotic. It skips the digestion and it is a harbinger of the probiotics, that is the good gut bacteria. The bananas, they are weight loss friendly foods. Once eaten, they can make you satisfied for a long time. So you have to eat them less subsequently, not much in number. So just mind your number while eating bananas. Then only they will show the positive effects. Then being rich in potassium, they lower the blood pressure. They are cardio-friendly too. Flavonoids, amines, they are the wonderful antioxidants which are found in abundance in bananas. Bananas support the bone health, ocular health and kidney health and help to build lean muscles. Banana curbs down bloating and helps in muscle recovery after exercise and wear and tear. All in all, what I want to state is bananas, they are very good dietary add-ons, especially in the morning, in the evenings, preferable in the morning. And if you take banana shakes, you can skip your meals also. It's quite heavy, fulfilling, and very nice. Avoid sugar in banana shakes. Try honey or some dates or something else. Well, with bananas, you don't need more sugary substances, that's for sure. Good ingredient, banana helps in weight loss, diets, and it can be added easily in measurable amount in the healthy lifestyle daily. And last section after all these things, we have off-the-cuff talks. So here today I want to talk about the basic theme is little things. They are not little. When looked back again, they seem big things. So the moral of the story is to enjoy and pay value to the little things. Now I'll give you some examples. Slowly and tastily sip the morning tea or coffee. The first sip is the best thing of the day, so you better enjoy it. Now, as you walk around the garden, pay heed to the new sprouting flowers and buds and leaves. What do they indicate? They are simply perfect reminder of the new beginnings. Next, don't ignore the comments, whether they are positive or whether they are critical, by your mom when you dress up for office in the morning. Why? Because these comments, they are simply the best advice pieces for you. Next, don't ignore the good mornings and greetings in the mornings by your friends and colleagues. They are meant to be responded with the early morning zest and purity. You see, I talked about purity because in the morning there is maximum purity in your mind and others' minds, in your heart and others' hearts, because it's a new beginning of the day. While the day passes by, it becomes evening, our heart and mind becomes impure. I'm sure you might have experienced this. Next, do not ignore the knowledge of anyone's birthday. Now, there's someone's birthday around and the person is in reach. Then you make an effort to wish that person. Yeah, surely. Because why? You may be the only one or you may be the first person to wish him happy birthday. That's sad, but that's the truth. So whenever you have the knowledge of anyone's birthday, do go and wish him or her. Next important point here in off-the-cuff talks, I want to say that money is not important. It's the inner peace which actually ranks higher than the achievement. Yes, I'm talking about the achievement also here. So I've just said that you can just try sacrificing something worthwhile for inner peace. You gotta not invite any achievement for the cost of your inner peace. And you will find it's worth it and you will stay happy. Lastly, I just want to say that we all are striving hard and making efforts to be happy, healthy and peaceful. And nothing is more desirable to anybody on this planet. I'm sure I'm right. Finally, it's a wrap o'clock. I look forward to see and talk to all of you, but again at a month's span. Till then, I just want to state in a very poetic manner, the clock gonna tick, don't you miss. Let every act, every thought, rejuvenate and kindle the extent of bliss. Cause the next time we sit and while the tea we sip, in your talks I wish we rejoice and celebrate your wins. Similarly, I've translated it into French version. Well, let me try this one. Je hâte de vous revoir et de vous parler à nouveau, mais dans un mois. D'ici là, l'horloge va sonner. Ne te manque pas que chaque acte choque pense. Rejoindre et illuminer l'étendue du bonheur. Parce que le prochain fois que nous nous essayons et que pendant que nous serons le dos. Dans vos discussions, je souhaite nous réjouissons et célébrons vos victoires. Yes, my convo is to be supplemented now with the final full stop. Ciao till the next monthly meeting. A bientôt. Au revoir.